Hello everyone, Ladislas Maurice of The Wandering Investor. So today we'll be discussing how to own real estate in Cambodia because there's just so much misinformation online. A lot of people come to Cambodia, they invest in real estate, they make mistakes with their legal structures and end up losing everything. So it doesn't have to be this way. It's actually really safe to buy in Cambodia if you use the right structures, if you know what you're doing. So here, Untac is a realtor who is based in Phnom Penh and covers both Phnom Penh and Siem Reap. And you've helped a number of foreign investors make investments here in Cambodia. So you'll explain to us the various structures and the various types of titles as well than one can find in the market.
If you look into Cambodian market, the most common term that you might hear is Strata title. So these are basically for foreigners who can own outright, and it's quite easy, nothing complicated. We're talking about a foreigner can own anything from the first floor up, not in ground floor. These are the most common one that you might heard of or you might deal with. But then we have a lot more title that I'm going to go through in detail. The first one is hard title. So hard title is the most secure. It's the safest title that you can own. Potentially it's registered by the national level. So once you have the hard title, that's it. There's no one else can claim that there's a lot of the cases for the other title, which is a soft title, that only recognized regionally. We have some of the case that people come up with two people having the same soft title. But when you're trying to register your soft title to a hard title, which is you need to go through a national level, they say, oh, actually, that's not the only title you have. There's another one having a similar title. In that case, it goes through a debut. And that could be very complicated. Some investors, some foreigners do fall into this issue.
Yeah. If you buy soft title and there's this, I mean, it'll be years of court cases, and then you as the foreigner are likelier than not to lose the battle, generally speaking. So yeah, so essentially strata title, completely safe. Hard title, completely safe. They're actually the same. Strata is just a category of hard title.
Yeah.
The difference being that hard title can apply to anything, land, homes.
Yeah.
You can't own in your own name as a foreigner.
Yeah.
So, and then there's leaseholds as well, right?
Yeah.
50-year leaseholds.
So, yeah. Before the government used to have the 99-year leasehold, but now we cut it down to 50-year leasehold, which some project does do that, buying a 50-year leasehold and then sell it within this time frame.
Yeah, so you got to be a bit more careful with those. It's a bit like Bali. I'd be a bit wary of getting involved in leaseholds, especially in a market where you don't have to. Okay, so Strata, I can come just with my passport, even remotely, boom, buy.
Yep.
My name is on the title deed. It's clean.
Easiest, most straightforward.
Cool. Now let's say I want to buy a house. I want to buy land. I'm not touching leaseholds personally. Soft titles, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's a gamble. Hard titles, clean.
Yeah.
So let's say you help me choose, for example, we're in Siem Reap. There's a house I like, a piece of land. I want to buy it. I can't buy it in my own name. What are the different structures that exist in Cambodia for a foreigner like myself to be able to buy land?
Yeah, so the normal traditional way that you might heard of, what you might seen a lot, the same here in Bali, is people do it through nominee. But personally, I'm not recommended. So a nominee, basically, you find some local that you trust. It could be your partner, it could be your friends, and then you basically having their name to own that property that you want to own, and you create a legal framework around it. But at the end of the day, if that come to the national court or the court, they will overrule because the state law or the constitutional law, it's above the agreement between both parties. So that's strongly not recommended. The second way that you can do it, it's through creating a company. And we see this happen quite a lot, where a foreigner or investor will create a company that they own 49% and the Cambodian own 51%. And the same thing with nominee, they're creating a legal framework where they are the one who drive the decision makings and stuff. There's a little more complicated in terms of paperwork and how to get it done. And the other one is through trust.
I think before going to the trust with the company, essentially you're stripping the Cambodian partners of most of their rights, economic rights, decision-making rights, etc.
Yeah.
So it's a lot cleaner than just the nominee, because the actual owner is still a Cambodian entity, and an agreement within a company is stronger than just a random agreement on the side with an individual.
Yeah.
But now there's a much better framework, right?
Yeah, there's a new thing called trust or trustee. Now this come on the market quite recently, and a lot of people don't know enough about it. Most people, most agency will just say no, it's too expensive, or no, because they don't know enough about it. This is something very exciting that we could potentially discuss about.
Yeah, so it's mostly based on Australian trust law. So essentially, you can be the one that controls the trust. You put the trust in the name of a bank or a law firm here in Cambodia, and then you can designate yourself or anyone else as the beneficiary. But you retain control, or a company that you control, or whatever, or a foreign entity, or a foreign trust, or a foreign foundation. So it's very flexible. It's good for succession planning as well. And they're not that expensive. You're looking to set up costs less than $1,000. You'll have a few fees during transactions. The bank or the law firm will have to do a bit of due diligence, etc. But then the yearly fees are between, I've seen anything ranging from $1,000 a year to 1.2% of assets under management.
Yeah.
So it's very reasonable, and the legal framework for this is really strong.
Yeah. If you look on the market, if you search, a lot of people have a false information regarding. People say it's expensive, it's way too expensive, but actually, if you really dig deeper, if you know about it, actually, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not expensive at all.
It's not more expensive than a company.
Yeah.
It's a lot more secure. But the thing is, because the market is not familiar with trusts here, it's a new concept. Just like a lot of European countries don't know how trusts operate and work, because a lot of European countries don't have this in their legal framework. People just are scared of it. They say, no, it's not good. A lot of real estate agents have never even heard of it. Even foreign real estate companies that are owned by foreigners, they still going around showing, their best friend who can be a nominee and whatever company. It's just, so I'm personally looking at making investments in Cambodia. You've introduced me to a good company that deals with all these trusts.
Yeah.
And if and when I decide to buy here, I'll just use them. It can be done all remotely.
Yeah.
They can open the bank account remotely, everything. It's a few weeks of paperwork, nothing too heavy, and then you're just good to go, and you can just invest in whatever you want in Cambodia. So yeah, thanks a lot for introducing me to these people, because that really changes the range of investment opportunities that you as a foreigner have in Cambodia, as opposed to just condos. And some of them are fine, nothing wrong with condos. Now you can really go, there's a lot you can invest in Cambodia. So that's pretty exciting. It's a huge development in the country that really is not being discussed at all.
If you have any question about trust company or want me to introduce the trust company, please feel free to reach out to me.
Also, I wrote a whole article on the real estate market here in Phnom Penh, the areas to look at, the areas to avoid, all the infrastructure development that's happening in the cities, the bridges, the airport, etc., where all of this is happening. There's a link below, and I did the same thing as well for Siem Reap, analyzed that market. We have case studies, etc. There's a link below as well, and then you can get in touch with Untac. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ladislav.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, link below, and feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.